Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that can completely change your life: learning English without a tutor. Many people think they need expensive classes, perfect teachers, or years of memorizing grammar rules. But let me tell you a secret: real fluency doesn't come from sitting in a classroom. It comes from practice, persistence, and a strategy that works for your life, not someone else's. When I started learning, I had nothing, no fancy resources, no one to guide me. I failed many times, made many mistakes, and even laughed at myself for mispronouncing simple words. But every time I failed, I learned, and slowly, those failures turned into progress. The path to fluency is the same. You must embrace failure as your teacher, not your enemy. Today, I want to share with you a roadmap that many people believe is impossible: achieving English fluency without a tutor. Many think that learning English requires expensive classes, strict teachers, and memorizing endless grammar rules. But I am here to tell you that true fluency comes not from classrooms, but from persistence, curiosity, and the courage to make mistakes. When I first started, I had no resources, no guidance, and no one to show me the way. I stumbled. I mispronounced words. I struggled to form sentences, and yet each failure was a lesson. Each mistake, though embarrassing at the moment, became a stepping stone toward progress. The secret is to embrace failure, not to fear it. Because without mistakes, you cannot grow. And without growth, you cannot succeed. English is more than just a subject. It is a tool, a key that opens doors to new opportunities, new connections, and a broader world. But a tool is only valuable if you use it. You may have the best resources in the world, but without action, they're useless. The first step, therefore, is simple yet powerful. Immerse yourself in English every single day. Listen to podcasts, watch videos, read articles, speak with anyone who will listen. And even if your words are broken, speak anyway. Every sentence you attempt, every word you pronounce builds your skill. The key is consistency. Small daily steps accumulate into significant progress. Many learners fall into a trap, the trap of perfection. They believe that they must speak flawlessly before anyone will understand them. They worry about making mistakes, mispronouncing words, or using the wrong grammar. I've seen this fear stop countless people from speaking, from trying, from moving forward. But perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal. Speaking is about connecting, about sharing ideas, about being understood. You will make mistakes, and that is exactly what will teach you. Every misstep is a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to fluency. Do not be afraid of your mistakes. They are your roadmap. In my own journey, I often spoke with people who laughed at my words, who corrected me repeatedly, but each interaction strengthened my confidence and skill. The world does not expect perfection, but it rewards courage, persistence, and action. Another secret that many overlook is learning through your passion. If you love music, movies, business, travel, or technology, use English in that context. Read articles that excite you, watch videos that inspire you, and talk about topics you love. When learning is connected to your interests, it stops feeling like work and starts feeling like life. Motivation becomes natural, and learning becomes enjoyable. English then becomes not a task, but a tool to explore your world, to chase your dreams, and to connect with people who share your passions. When you engage with English this way, You will notice improvement faster because your mind is fully invested and your curiosity drives you to discover more. The next step is to set small, measurable goals. Do not overwhelm yourself with the idea of becoming fluent in a year. Instead, aim for achievable milestones. Learn 5 new words every day. Have one conversation per week. Watch one video daily in English. Small steps repeated consistently lead to exponential growth. It is like planting seeds in a garden. Each seed may seem small, but with care and patience, it grows into a flourishing tree. After months of consistent effort, you will look back and realize that you understand more, speak more confidently, and express yourself with clarity. Each small victory builds your momentum and your confidence, which is far more powerful than any intensive course. Fluency without a tutor requires discipline, persistence, and patience. It requires embracing discomfort, facing your fears, and pushing yourself even when progress feels slow. It is not a shortcut, but it is a journey that rewards those who are willing to work consistently. Every word spoken, every sentence written, every conversation attempted builds not just a skill, but confidence, courage, and resilience. The process teaches you more than grammar or vocabulary. It teaches you how to persevere, how to learn from failure, and how to take control of your own growth. The beauty of this journey is that it is entirely in your hands. No one can do it for you, but the power lies in that independence. You have the ability to create your own learning path, to explore English in ways that suit your interests, and to grow in ways that are meaningful to you. Fluency then becomes not a distant goal, but a natural result of your daily actions, your curiosity, and your willingness to try, fail, and try again. Learning English without a tutor is not just a skill, it is a journey of self discovery, persistence, and courage. Many people believe they need someone to guide them every step of the way. A teacher to correct every mistake, or expensive classes to reach fluency. But the truth is, the most successful learners are those who take responsibility for their own progress. They understand that learning a language is like building a business. You start with nothing, face challenges, make mistakes, and slowly turn those obstacles into opportunities. I've seen people start with very little knowledge of English, yet through patience and consistent effort, they become fluent, confident, and capable of expressing themselves clearly in any situation. It all begins with a mindset, the mindset that you are capable of learning, that mistakes are part of the process, and that your effort today will compound into significant results tomorrow. The first step in this journey is to surround yourself with English as much as possible. Immersion is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Listen to podcasts while walking, watch videos while cooking, read articles during your free time, and try to think in English. Every interaction, no matter how small, strengthens your language ability. Many people underestimate the power of repetition and exposure. Even if you do not understand everything at first, your brain is absorbing patterns, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Just as a child learns their first language by listening and imitating, adults can achieve fluency through consistent exposure and practice. The key is not perfection, but persistence. Every sentence you attempt, every word you pronounce, is a step forward on your roadmap to fluency. Another principle is to stop fearing mistakes. So many learners freeze because they worry about being judged, about speaking incorrectly, or about embarrassing themselves. Yet the most powerful learning comes from trial and error. When you speak and make mistakes, You are not failing, you are learning. Each error provides information about what to improve and strengthens your memory. Imagine a young entrepreneur pitching ideas for the first time. They stumble, they get rejected, but each attempt builds experience, resilience, and confidence. The same applies to language. Speaking without fear, making mistakes openly, and learning from them accelerates progress far more than silent study ever could. Mistakes are not obstacles, they are signposts pointing you toward growth. Learning through your interests is another powerful strategy. If you are passionate about business, technology, culture, or art, incorporate English into these areas. Read blogs, watch videos, and participate in discussions that excite you. When learning is aligned with your passions, it stops being a task and starts becoming a part of your life. Motivation becomes intrinsic, and your brain retains knowledge more effectively because you care about the content. This connection between learning and personal interest makes English a tool to explore the world, pursue opportunities, and connect with people who share your passions. Learning then becomes natural, enjoyable, and sustainable rather than a chore or obligation. Small, measurable goals are essential for steady progress. Many learners fail because they aim for vague ambitions like, I want to be fluent, without breaking it down into actionable steps. Instead, focus on achievable milestones. Learn 5 new words a day, read an article every morning, or hold a conversation once a week. Small steps repeated consistently lead to exponential growth. Language learning is like planting seeds. Each seed may seem insignificant at first, but with daily care and attention, it grows into strong, lasting fluency. Tracking your progress, celebrating small victories, and continuously adjusting your strategy keeps you motivated and reinforces your learning. Consistency is far more powerful than intensity. Short, regular practice outweighs occasional bursts of study. Fluency without a tutor requires self discipline, resilience, and a willingness to push beyond comfort zones. You must be patient and committed, understanding that progress is not always linear. There will be days of frustration, moments of confusion, and times when improvement feels slow. Yet those who continue despite challenges are the ones who succeed. The process teaches more than grammar and vocabulary. It teaches perseverance, confidence, and self reliance. Each time you speak, write, or listen, you reinforce your ability to communicate effectively. You gain more than language skills. You gain courage, independence, and the capacity to navigate the world with confidence. English becomes not just a skill, but a bridge to new ideas, cultures, and opportunities. Learning English without a tutor is a challenge that many people believe is impossible. Yet it is entirely achievable if you approach it with the right mindset and strategy. Many learners spend years attending classes, memorizing grammar rules, and studying vocabulary lists, only to find that when it comes time to speak or understand, they struggle. The truth is, fluency does not come from books alone. It comes from action, curiosity, and the willingness to make mistakes. It comes from using the language in real life, facing discomfort, and pushing yourself to communicate even when it feels difficult. When you embrace these principles, you begin to understand that English is not a subject to be mastered, but a tool to be used, a bridge to new opportunities, and a way to expand your horizons. The journey begins with a mindset, believing that you are capable of learning, that mistakes are part of progress, and that your consistent effort will compound into results over time. The first principle in achieving fluency is immersion. Surround yourself with English in every aspect of your life. Listen to podcasts while traveling, Watch videos during breaks. Read articles whenever you have free time. And try to think in English as often as possible. Immersion is not about perfection, it is about exposure. Even if you do not understand every word, your brain is absorbing patterns, pronunciation, and context. This consistent contact with the language is what allows your brain to internalize it naturally. Many people underestimate the power of passive learning. Listening and reading every day, even without actively studying, trains your mind to recognize structures, vocabulary, and meaning, preparing you for active communication. Every effort, no matter how small, is a step toward fluency, and persistence is more important than intensity. The second principle is embracing mistakes. So many learners fear speaking because they worry about errors, mispronunciations, or being judged. Yet, the most effective learning comes from trying and failing. Each mistake is an opportunity to improve. Imagine someone starting a business without fear of failure. They take risks, learn from setbacks, and eventually succeed. Language learning is no different. Speaking imperfectly, asking questions, and experimenting with new words teaches you far more than silent study ever could. Mistakes are not setbacks, they are milestones on the journey to mastery. The sooner you accept them as part of the process, the faster you will progress. Confidence grows not from avoiding errors, but from facing them with courage, learning, and persistence. Another critical factor is learning through your passions. If you enjoy a certain topic, technology, sports, travel, or culture, use English to explore it. Read books, watch videos, and participate in discussions about things that excite you. When learning is tied to personal interest, it becomes motivating and enjoyable. You are no longer studying a language because you have to. You are using it as a tool to explore your passions and achieve your goals. This approach makes learning natural, engaging, and sustainable. When you connect English to your interests, your mind retains information more effectively and your progress accelerates because you are emotionally invested in the content. Setting small, measurable goals is essential for steady improvement. Many learners fail because they aim for vague objectives like be fluent without concrete steps. Instead, focus on achievable daily or weekly targets. Learn a set number of new words, have a short conversation with someone in English, or watch an educational video every day. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Language learning is like planting seeds. Each small effort contributes to long term growth. You may not notice immediate improvement, but over months, the cumulative effect becomes clear. Regular practice, tracking your progress, and celebrating small achievements reinforce motivation and build confidence. The key is consistency. Short daily actions are far more effective than occasional intensive study sessions. Fluency without a tutor requires patience, self discipline, and resilience. Progress is rarely linear, and there will be moments of frustration and doubt. Yet, those who persevere despite difficulties are the ones who succeed. Each conversation, each article read, and each word spoken strengthens not only your language ability, but also your confidence and independence. The journey teaches more than grammar or vocabulary. It teaches resilience, self reliance, and the ability to embrace challenges. English becomes not just a skill, but a bridge to new opportunities, a way to connect with people, explore cultures, and share ideas. The process transforms you as a learner, as a communicator, and as an individual willing to take responsibility for your growth. Learning English without a tutor is a journey that tests patience, persistence, and courage. Yet it is entirely possible for anyone who is willing to take responsibility for their own learning. Many people believe that they must have a teacher guiding every step, correcting every mistake, and providing structured lessons in order to succeed. They think that without formal instruction, fluency is out of reach. But the truth is that real mastery comes from action, curiosity, and the willingness to fail and learn from those failures. English is not a subject to memorize, it is a living tool, a key to new opportunities, connections, and personal growth. The journey begins with the mindset that every effort matters, that mistakes are a source of knowledge, and that consistent daily practice will compound into results over time. Success is rarely immediate, but those who remain committed to their learning will find that small steps lead to profound progress. The first principle for achieving fluency is immersion. Surround yourself with English in as many ways as possible. Listen to podcasts, watch videos, read articles, and try to think in English. The important thing is not to understand everything at first, but to expose yourself to the rhythm, vocabulary, and structure of the language. Your brain absorbs patterns naturally through consistent exposure. Many learners underestimate the power of passive learning. By engaging with English every day, even without formal study, you begin to internalize sentence structures, pronunciation, and word usage. Every effort counts, no matter how small, and the key is to be persistent. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds skill. Daily exposure is the foundation upon which fluency is built, and over time, this immersion turns understanding into instinctive communication. Another key principle is embracing mistakes. Fear of errors is one of the biggest obstacles for learners. Many hesitate to speak because they worry about mispronouncing words, using incorrect grammar, or being judged by others. Yet, mistakes are not failures, they are lessons. Each error teaches you something new about the language and your own learning process. Think of it like an entrepreneur starting a business. They take risks, encounter setbacks, and learn from every failure. Language learning works in the same way. Speaking imperfectly, experimenting with new words, and making errors are essential steps toward mastery. Confidence grows not from avoiding mistakes, but from facing them and using them as fuel to improve. The sooner you accept that errors are part of progress, the faster you will move toward fluency. Learning through your passions is another critical factor. If you are passionate about a certain topic, whether it is technology, sports, music, or culture, incorporate English into your interests. Read books, watch videos, and engage in discussions related to your passions. When learning is connected to something you care about, it becomes motivating, enjoyable, and sustainable. English then becomes a tool to explore your passions, achieve your goals, and connect with people who share your interests. Motivation comes naturally when learning is aligned with your curiosity, and your progress accelerates because you are emotionally invested in the content. Passion transforms learning from a task into an exciting journey of discovery. Setting small, achievable goals is essential for steady progress. Many learners fail because they aim for vague objectives like be fluent without breaking them down into actionable steps. Instead, focus on daily or weekly targets. Learn 5 new words, have one short conversation in English, or watch one educational video every day. Small, consistent efforts compound over time. Much like planting seeds in a garden, each seed may seem insignificant at first, but with daily care and attention, it grows into lasting fluency. Tracking your progress, Celebrating small victories and adjusting your methods based on results reinforce motivation and confidence. Consistency is more important than intensity. Short, regular practice sessions are far more effective than occasional high pressure study. Fluency without a tutor requires self discipline, resilience, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. Progress will not always be linear. There will be days of frustration, moments of doubt, and times when improvement seems slow. Yet, those who persist through these challenges are the ones who achieve mastery. Each conversation attempted, each article read, and each new word learned strengthens not only your language skills, but also your confidence, independence, and determination. The journey teaches more than vocabulary or grammar. It teaches perseverance, responsibility for your own growth, and the courage to face challenges head on. English becomes not just a skill, but a bridge to new opportunities, a way to connect with others, explore ideas, and share your voice with the world. Every action you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to fluency and transforms you as a learner, communicator, and individual willing to take charge of your own success.